Hassel here, and here in this tutorial we're going to be having a look at how we make this effect where we make my laptop look like it's magically lighting up my face. Now there's a few different things you'll need to create this effect. One is obviously Final Cut Pro 10 for all the fantastic editing. The second thing is I'm using this little LED light that I use a lot. We'll need that to kind of place inside the laptop to kind of light up your face or in your shot. So I've just kind of used my old laptop here, and basically we're placing the light inside it, and you're kind of seeing the shots, how we do that and kind of mix two different types of shots together. So all the first steps of this particular tutorial are done in Final Cut Pro 10, no kind of extra plugins, but we will look at the end at the mFilmLook plugin, and basically to kind of see how using a plugin or a LUT like that can add that little bit of extra je ne sais quoi to basically improve your shot and kind of hide some of the edits as you create these kind of smoke and mirrors type effects. So we're going to dive into Final Cut Pro and have a look at how we create this effect of the laptop opening up and looking like it's glowing very brightly. So basically there's a few different steps in this. The first is to actually kind of get two different shots of opening up the laptop, one without the light inside it and one with the light inside it. Now obviously we can't put a light inside a laptop, there's no space for it there, so we're mixing two different shots here together. And if we have a look at the shots here, we can see basically I have one shot of myself closing the laptop, and the reason for that is that if you open up the laptop this way, then with some objects they're going to move when you actually open them up. So I found that when I was opening it up forwards, it was actually pushing the laptop back, and for this particular effect we need the laptop to stay in the same place exactly as we open it up. So we're going to reverse this shot so it's opening rather than closing, and then we're going to do a smart cut with this shot. So basically I have the light inside there now, which is why I can't completely close the laptop. So basically now you can see the light is shining on my face, and we're going to mix these two shots together and we have it looking like my face is lighting up as we open up the laptop. So the first thing we need to do here is go in and work on a new project. So I'm going to come to my composite setup here. And basically I've set up a 1920 by 1080 project. If we highlight this project, you can see it's over here. We're running at 29.97 frames per second. The video recorded is in 59.94, which means we can halve the speed of it and not lose any kind of smoothness. So we'll open up this project, and I've basically gone through this clip. So if we just drop this down to the timeline, you can see the clip I've taken is basically of me opening and closing the laptop a few different times to try and get the flow of it right, and also to kind of pick out the shot. Now one thing that's really important here is that I've locked off the exposure in my camera. So basically when we are shooting with the camera, I've locked it off. Now you can do this with your iPhone, and with most cameras there's a setting that allows you to lock the exposure so that you don't get the light jumping up and down. And that's especially important when we kind of have this brighter shot, that the background actually matches the background in this shot for the most part. So basically you can see I'm opening and closing it, and then I pop the light in there. So I've got my little light, pop that in there, turn it on, and then we're opening and closing the laptop with the light in there, and we're going to mix those two different shots together. Now I've gone into my shots in the library here and basically marked out the two main shots I've used. So what I've done is I've kind of found a spot where the clip is running smoothly. So for instance we'll just kind of run through with this one. So here I'm closing it, I've marked an out point and come back in time to when I've opened it up, marked an in point using I and O, and then I'm using the shortcut Command and K to mark a keyword for that shot. So I'm doing this all in one shot, but I want to be able to kind of pull out the individual shots, and I've just given a keyword composite because that's what I'm going to use it in. So I've typed in composite there once I brought the keywords up, and what that does nicely for me is it brings up those shots in my event here. So basically those three shots are pulled out from that one longer shot with this keyword collection. So these shots are all from the same original video, but it just means I've kind of isolated that shorter section of footage. So here we have the few seconds of footage that we need for those two different shots. Okay, so basically opening up and then opening up here. So the first layer we're going to add to our timeline is this one, and I will drop it down to the timeline, do Shift and Z. I'm going to drop the audio down just by dragging down the white bar in the middle of my clip here, and the first thing I'm going to do is reverse this clip. So basically I'm going to reverse the clip. So now instead of closing it, I am opening up the laptop. Okay. And I'm also going to slow it down as well. So we'll slow it down to 50%, which is the slowest that we can actually get this clip to be. And again, I'm going to do Shift and Z just so we can kind of see the whole timeline there. So what I'm going to do now is grab my second clip and drop it above. So basically the point I'm looking for here is where the top of the laptops kind of match and where the position of my hand matches. So basically I'm going to look for that spot where it actually crosses the line of my t-shirt here. So we'll trim to that point, and we can just refine this as we move along. So here you can see we're crossing the line of my t-shirt around about here. So that's roughly where we want the clips to be positioned, and I'm going to slow this down to 50% as well. Okay, so basically now you can see if we play this through, it looks like the light's flashing on. And actually, even with this very kind of simple clip, we can basically see that as a quick edit, the fact that the light flashing on distracts from the movement of the hand a little bit, but we obviously need to kind of refine that edit just a little bit. So basically the light is a little bit too quick to flash on. So what we're going to do is add a cross dissolve at the beginning here. So I'm going to select the beginning of my clip and do Command and T to add the default transition, which is a cross dissolve for me, and it should be that for you if you haven't changed that. And basically what we can see now is that as that's popping up, we're pretty close to the effect that we want. We've just got a little bit of a doubling up of the arm on the left hand side, but because the light is coming on, we kind of can get away with a little bit of that. I'm just going to trim this down from the beginning a little bit. Okay, and actually what we can do here in these sections is just have a look at where the kind of laptop is placing, but actually the top of the laptop there is moving really smoothly because we lined it up with that line on the t-shirt, and actually overall I'm pretty happy with that. So we just lengthened out the transition there, and that's overall pretty good. One thing you can do if you are struggling to kind of get your footage lined up is basically drop the opacity of the top layer, and that will allow you to just kind of see by using the left and right arrows kind of where things match up. So you can see my arm kind of comes in a little bit later, so I might even trim this down just a touch more. And so once we're happy with the kind of way that flows, and I am for the most part here, I'm going to select my topmost clip, and I'm selecting the group that it's within here, or the connected storyline, and I'm going to hold down Command and select the bottom layer, and then I'm going to do the shortcut Alt or Option and G to group those together into a clip. And what this allows us to do once we've done that is to actually kind of speed things up and slow things down in their totality. So what I might do around this point where we have the kind of hand popping up is just select that and add a little bit of a speed change here. So basically we can smooth through that transition just by speeding it up a little bit. And now you can see the light pops up and it's working quite nicely. I'm also going to speed up the beginning of this as well. We had slowed it down, so I'm just going to speed this up by twice the speed. There is a change in my kind of smile in the edit here, but actually because we kind of speed through that, you don't notice it because the face is lining up. So it's a bit of smoke and mirrors in terms of the effect we've got here. I'm going to trim this down. I don't want my eyes looking up at the camera at the end there. So we can trim it down from the beginning here a little bit. So now open up the laptop and we get that kind of nice effect. So to kind of cap this off and kind of give this a little bit more texture, we're going to come across to our effects here and into the mFilmLook plugin. Now this series of different kind of color presets or LUTs allows you to kind of add effects and color and kind of a little bit of lens distortion to your film. So we're going to scroll down and I'm going to try this cockrow effect, and if we select this, and I'm just going to stretch out the middle window here, so I've dragged that effect onto my clip, you can see we have some different options for this particular LUT in the mFilmLook preset. So basically in my presets here, I can, once I've added it to my clip, and that's another reason for kind of grouping the clips, and we can just kind of cycle through the different effects that we have available to us here. So with the cockcrow effect that we have here, then basically we've got a few different options. We have this flare that we've got at the top left, and we can move that around. We've also got the letterboxing here, which actually I want to remove for this particular clip. I don't want any letterboxing for this one, so we can take that off. And I'm going to add this to the top left of my glasses, so just when this kind of pops on, and I'm going to just come into my options here on the right, and I just double clicked at the top of my inspector there just to stretch it out a bit more. And basically if we come to the on-screen flare, we can drop down the intensity of it, so sometimes less is more, and we can also keyframe things in the mFilmLook preset as well. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to come back to just before that light pops on, and I'm going to drop this down to 0 so the flare goes away. And so what that will do now, which is quite nice, is when this opens up and the light pops up, we'll get that flare in there as well, and we could keyframe it to kind of match the edge of my glasses here. And actually I'm going to just come back here and we'll add a little bit less intensity to that. So you can see some of the modifications we can do there. We've got the flare popping up, which is going to distract from the fact that there's this little bit of error in the hand, and it does it quite nicely, so a little bit of smoke and mirrors. And then of course we can try all the different LUTs available here for us. So if we come to mFilmLook presets again, we can stretch this out, and we can try some other kind of different effects to see which one works the best. So you can see we've got a nice selection of different color effects that we can add in here that will all change the mood of the edit that we're making here. So let's try swelter. So we'll just close this. So you can see here with the swelter LUT, we've got some different kind of options there. We've got color temperature, which we can change. We've got saturation, which we can change. And then we also have some of these kind of flares on here as well, which we can kind of modify the intensity of. And basically we've got this sunset glow kind of flare on here at the moment. So there's a series of different flare presets too, which we can choose to kind of match what we're working on here. So I will keep the sunset glow there actually, and we'll just come across here and go to manual position, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see the position is set way outside the window there, so we can, just by zooming down to 25%, we can reposition where this actually sits, and we can play around with the scale and position of that. So I'm just going to leave that across on the left there, and we'll go back to fit. And so now you can see this is the effect we get. And again, I'm not sure if this is quite the right one, so I'm going to scroll up. We'll have a look at the flashback option here, and we'll just close this, and we'll give this a playthrough. Okay, so you can see we've got some kind of real nice different effects that we can work with on the mFilmLook. They're going to give a variety of different effects to your videos. So actually I'm going to leave this on the bed-in option here. I kind of like the little vignette that we have here. We will come up to the right and turn on the flare, and basically we'll grab a flare preset. So I'm going to grab this synthetic reflection. So the last step here is to add some audio. So I'm just going to grab an audio clip that I have here, and we'll just trim this down. So basically now this is what we have. So you can see here with the smart shot setup, the smart editing, where we're kind of getting that transition to happen at exactly the right moment, and then using these mFilmLook color effects, we're getting this really interesting effect where it looks like the laptop screen is really kind of glowing and kind of shining onto the face of the viewer. So hopefully that's a useful tutorial if you're looking to create these types of effects in Final Cut Pro 10. A little quick look at the mFilmLook plugin, which is super awesome, has a lot of great effects there. And as always, if you have any questions, then please do leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.